Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's class. You're welcome to today's class. Adeyeni, you're welcome. Today is your first time. Temi, can you hear me? Okay, I say you're welcome. Hello, I say you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening.
So, uh, I say I would like you to give us a brief summary of what you learned in the last class. Hello, can you give me a brief summary of what you learned?
Hi, good evening. Sorry, I was not in the last class. My network was tripping off, so I was not able to attend the last class.
Okay, Essay, can you give me a brief summary of what you learned on the last class?
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Summary of
Hello, are you speaking? Hello.
hello, please. At what point was I disconnected? Did you even hear me at all?
We cannot
Hello.
even hear you. We cannot even hear you at a particular period of time. So I don't know. You went off.
Ah, jeez. I was thinking, and I was just talking. Okay, I said we basically talked about SQL. We said SQL is an acronym for structuring query language. That is a created or to have the format installed in our system. That's where we use to manage our databases henceforth. So I think that's introduction to SQL. Thank you.
Introduction. Thank you for that introduction. So tell me, at the end of the class, you will introduce yourself for us, okay? Jumbo, you're welcome.
All right, all right, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. I apologies. I joined a bit late. I was in a meeting. I just rounded up a meeting. Apologies.
No problem. Apologies accepted, but continuous apology is not accepted. Okay,
Sir.
your
Okay,
apologies
sir.
is accepted, but continuously is not accepted. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so currently we are going to talk on what SQL. We learned about the basics of SQL and also we learned about a database. We introduce you to what a database, how you can create it, and thereafter we are going to what create a database. Can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Yes,
Yeah, we
sir,
can
we
hear you.
can hear you. Though it's a kind of breaking.
Hello, can you guys hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, I
Hello,
can
sir, we
hear
can
you,
hear
but
you,
at
sir.
some point, it's tripping off.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm having some network issue, but um, I will fix it. Okay. So now we are going to what discuss more on what creating database. No problem. No problem. So I said that we are going to talk on database. We are going to create database earlier before we discuss on what the basics of database and we look at on the curriculum. So this is the environment of my SQL workbench. My SQL workbench. Before I start, Adeyini, these are the software we are using. Is the software we are using. Okay, this is the software we are using.
Sorry, please,
My
I can't hear you.
network. Oh, I'm really sorry. I was talking. I don't really know that I was not online. So So I'm sorry for that. As Ayala just said, I said my network was having some uh, network difficulty. So I've already fixed it. So if you can hear me, can you hear me? Hello, can you anyone hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, let me continue this class. Okay. So just as I earlier discussed, I said that we are going to look on how we can create a database. Now, first of all, we are going to use the word create. The word create what table from database. So I will be writing it. I will be writing it for you to see. So let's see how we can what create a database. Now we are going to create a database if the database is not existing. So I will say create what database if not existed. So I'm creating a database if not existed. So I'm creating a database if not existed. So first of all, when we use create database if not existed, when we create that database, the system will have to what check if there's any related database that has similar name. So before it can create that database. So now this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to what create the database. I'll say create database if not existed. Now the database name, I'll give it like a CM Tech. Now you have to give what your database a name. You have to give what your database a name. You cannot just create a database without giving it a name. So you must make sure that every database you have created, you must issue a name to the database. So now I'll give it a name called, let's say, uh, uh, um, I'll give it CM Tech. I'll give it what CM Tech. Now I will use my what semicolon. Now semicolon ends what your lines of code. Your semicolon end your line of what code when you are creating that database. For the system to recognize that you have ended your what your program, your code, you have to what use what semicolon, and that semicolon we the semicolon will tell the system that this is what this person is trying to do. This is what uh, this code is all about. This is how the system tells the computer what to do. So now I'm going to create a database called CMTech. Now I said create database if not what existed. Now I will use this icon. This icon. This icon is what's used for executing. It's used for what? Executing a code. Please take note. This icon is used for executing a code. Now, once I press it, automatically the code line of code will be executed. Now, did you see when you look at the output? When you look at the output, you will see that create one database if not exist CMTech. Now, you see a message coming out, one role what affected, one role affected. So this is the output that tells you that this is what you are doing, this is your result. If the code did not affected, or if there is an error on your line of code, it will not run. It will not run. I believe you or you can hear me and you can understand what I'm trying to say. Hello, everyone. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, yeah,
Do
with
you
you, yeah.
understand okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Now, okay. Thank you. So now, since we have created the database, already show that the database is correct, and this icon here that look like a sticker of good represent that your code did not have did not have issue. So it runs very well. Now this is my database CMTech, and CMTech have already been created, and when I reload my schema, this is my schema. When I reload it, you see a database have been created. I hope you can see it. A database have been created. So they have structure. We have structure on how we can uh insert a table, because when you create a database is just like a container. It's just like a container. You have already created a container where you are going to insert items. We are going to insert tables, and tables comprises of rows and column. Table comprises of rows and column. So without the database, your table will not be inserted. You must create a database before you can create a table. So I want to share my screen, and I will show you a structure on how we can create a table. Now, first of all, I want to use this illustration. So now creating a table is a statement to create a new table in a database. Now, before you create a database, you have to follow the steps. You have to follow steps before you can create a table. First of all, when you want to create a table, you have to give it a condition. You have to give it a task which the workbench or the SQL program will execute for you. Now, we have to create a table called person. Now, creating person, you have to give it the list of details you want of the person. I'm using person as an example. I'm using person as example. So these are the steps. Now, first of all, when we look at this example gave us uh, uh, create table. Now, person. Now the person has what? Person ID, person's last name, varchar. Now varchar, I don't want you to be confused. Varchar is just like what? Data types. Have you heard about data type before? Hello? Have you guys heard about data type before? Or this is your first time?
No, sir. For me, I'm hearing it for the first time. But it's like I'm mixing something, sir. Where you say schema, I joined in a bit late because I entered the
Okay.
same thing on my system and it's not giving me the same prompt. So now I realize that we are not on the same page. How do
Okay,
I
so
get to that schema?
where are you lacking behind? Like from that schema you are lacking behind, right?
Yes, because I joined in late, so I didn't get the earlier part of the discussion. But when you started the programming, enter create database. If not existed, then name. I did that on the same
Yeah.
app on the website. So, but it's not giving me the same prompt it's giving you. So I realized we are not on the same page because I'm seeing schema on your own side. Why on my own side, I'm seeing management, instance, and performance.
Okay.
And they
Okay,
are
no problem. No problem. Can you share what? Can you share your screen? Okay, you are not. Can you share your screen? Are you using your phone, your laptop or your phone?
yes, I'm on the meeting with my phone while my laptop is also connected. So
Okay,
the
no problem.
software
I
is
will
on my
explain for you.
laptop.
So
Yes.
now, Adula, Adul,
Yeah, I'm with you.
no problem. So Adu, have you heard the word? Have you heard the word data type before?
Yeah, I've heard it before, but maybe I don't know what exactly it is.
Okay. So Adu, this is your first time.
Not exactly my first time, like, but I feel like I just know the basic,
Is
like
this
this.
your first time joining this class?
Yeah, this is my first time. I joined just today.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So Musa, I believe, do you have knowledge of data type before?
I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly.
Hello, Musa.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello.
Do you know what is data type before?
I said no, no. So it's no.
Okay, no. Okay, no problem. So, Obichuku, you are just joining for the first time. So, Jumbo, so let me go back to what my SQL workbench again and explain for you. Okay, Jumbo, regarding to your question you ask, okay, regarding to your question you ask. So once you create a database, what if not existed? First of all, we have what? Administrator, and this is what is showing you, right?
Yes, 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 sir.
Jumbo,
Yes, sir.
this is what is showing you. Now,
Yes, sir.
come when you come under here, you have what? On administrator and what? Schema. Did you see it? Administrator and what? Schema. Once you switch to schema, you will see a database which you have what? Already created.
Okay, okay,
Did you
okay.
see it?
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen
Did you
schema, yes.
you have seen it?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Did you see the database you created?
Yes, I'm seeing it. The
Okay,
data
good.
page
Now
I
you have
created,
created the
no,
database.
no,
Now,
no,
I want to let you
no.
know that you can also create database by removing if not existed. If you know that the database is what? not not in that schema before, you can create it just like that. You can just say create database cmtech without putting if not existed. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
sorry, I have to explain it for you. There are two ways of what creating database. You have to what you can use what if not existed, or you can create it like that. Okay, so now since we have already created database. Now we want to insert. I I am trying to explain this insert for us. Now, after we have created a database, we have to what create table, and the table we have to give it a table name. We have to what give it what a table name. Now, before what we start creating table, there is a word called use. Please, there is a word called what use. Before we start creating table, there is a word called use. Now, since you are creating that database, you have to use it. You have to let the system know that this is the database I'm using. Now, in my schema, what I have different database. I have 4 database. Now, for me to let the workbench or the SQL package to know that I'm using this particular database, I have to what use the word use. I have to what use the word use. Now I'll say use what CM tech. Now my semicolon. Now I've already what use that what database. Now look at it. Now did you see one role affected? One role affected. Now when I use it, one row affected. Now I can now insert. I can now insert on what that particular database, that particular database called what cmtech. I can now insert. So now for me to insert, I have to what create what we call a table. I have to create what we call a table. Now I'm going to say create table. Now create table, let's say a student cmtech. Okay, create table. Now I'm going to give it a name called uh, student. Student will be my what table. Now let me run. No, I will not run it. Sorry, I will not run it. I have to what insert what the student's details. Now I'll come down. I'll let's say I will give it something like person's ID. Okay, let me use a capital letter here. Person's ID. Now, ID. Now, first of all, once you have what create a person ID, like you have given it a column. That person's ID is a column. You want to give the person's table. Now that column, you have to what choose whether it's a data type, integer data type, or numerical data type, or a floor or a boolean. Okay, Jumbo, I believe in Excel. In Excel, you talked about you have seen a place where you choose for currency, date, and all, right? Jumbo, okay. Okay. I don't know if anyone have used Excel before. Some of you have used Excel before.
Yes.
Yeah,
Musa.
yeah, yeah.
Users.
Okay, now
Yeah,
you
sure.
see a place where you see currency. These are data types. Now, for us to choose that particular column, we have to what give it a specific data type for that column, and that column we are going to what since we are using ID, we are supposed to what use a word called auto increment, so that Whenever a new item is inserted, it will automatically generate an ID for that particular column. Most times, that auto increment helps for data for security purpose. Okay, maybe someone wants to alter that table, and if there's no auto increment, the any person can just go in and insert, and nobody will know. But if there's auto increment, you you can understand that this particular row, they maybe is starting from 1 to 3, and you see that 2 is missing. You have to you will be like, this 2 I've already missed out. So someone alter this database. So this is why we use what? Auto increment. Okay, Ese, can you hear me? I believe you are having network issues.
Terrible. It's terrible for real. I did not even understand it from the beginning of your lesson. I did not grab at all because of the network.
Oh, so I think, okay, just follow us from this stage. Okay, you can go back to watch the class. Okay, I will explain. Okay, at the end of the class,
And it's
I'll do a brief summary of what we have learned, of what I have taught so far. Okay,
okay. All right. Thank you.
so let's continue. Now we have to what? Give it an ID, an ID. Then I'll choose what? Auto increment. I can just use what? Integer. Now let me share my screen to this notes to this note. Now, if you check out this note, if you check out this note, the ID was assigned using a what? Integer data type. Now, this is where I want to explain for you. Now, they did not give it what? Auto increment. They did not choose if that ID will increase by number. No, they did not choose it. So I purposely create this note for you to have understanding of what I'm trying to explain. So you have to what? Use it for ID, most especially ID, student ID. You want to give it maybe his matric number. You want to give it a specific IDs. Every individual in that, maybe in you want to use a school. For example, you want to use a school. Uh, you want to know the number of students in that particular class, and you can use the ID to identify them. So ID is mostly used for what? Identification. uh, then since ID is used for identification, you have to give it a serial or a specific keys to different what? ID. Okay, I've tried my best to explain much about what I want to explain for you. Now, there's a word we call what? Primary key. Primary key. So, I don't know if anyone, so I don't want to be like I'm the one talking. So, I want to have some idea from you guys. So, uh, okay, have you heard the word primary key? Can you explain for me primary key, Adulai? Adulai. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm with you.
Can you explain? You say you have some little ideas. Can you explain the word primary key for us? So if you can explain.
Yeah, like just my own knowledge, like what I think, because I like I said earlier, just a basic knowledge, not like I have much more knowledge like that. So I feel like it's used for it's more like a key a key info in a particular field in the data, maybe in the row or something.
Okay, okay. Now we have what? primary key and what secondary key. Now, primary key is just like you want every data in that database to have their own specific key, to have their own specific key. And primary key is also used for what? Identification. Okay? It's also used what as what? Identification. So let's move on. Now let me share my screen back towards uh my workbench. Now this is my workbench, and now I want to set what uh so I'm with you. Okay. Now comma, and we'll use what? Auto increment. What? Auto increment. And auto increment, which I just explained, we are going to use it. So auto what? Increment. Coming. Now we are going to what? Set what? The number of what? Keys we want. Maybe the integer, the number of integer which we want it to accept. We can just choose if we want it to accept a particular uh, numbers. Okay. Okay, I'm coming. This my increment is not what working up to. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, sorry. That's my file. Okay. Now we have choose it, and okay, let's see this, and let's give it what? Last name. We can what? Give it what? Last name. Last name and varchar. And varchar is also what? Data type. And that varchar, we are going to what? Choose what? The length to which the particular column we accept. The length which what? The particular column we accept. Now varchar, and we are going to choose what? 20 what? Uh, let's say 255. 255. So now that 255 is what we accept. That particular let's say the column we accept. Okay. So now you can give it any range, in, maybe you can give it up to like 2000, 3000 range. Okay. So now let me also add what we call our no our first name. I believe we all know that the last name is the first before the first name. So I'll call it first name then voucher. Now that voucher, I also give it what 255, 255, comma. Now, okay, since I've already give it 255, sorry, I'm using semicolon here. I'm supposed to use comma to separate it, okay? Comma. Now, since it's a continuous word, I'm going to use a comma. So the next one is what? Address. Address. Let's uh, check for the student address. Okay, address, and we can just what use the address and voucher. So voucher, we are going to also use what? 55. So 55. Now, I believe you guys understand why I'm using what? That range. So let me hear from you. Let me hear from any one of you. So Jumbo, do you understand why I'm using 255? Hello? Hello, Jumbo. Are you in class? Okay. Musa. Musa,
Yes,
do
I
you
mean,
understand why I'm using 255?
yes, I think
Do you understand why
255.
I'm using 250?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. Can you tell us? Yes, I
I
can hear
think
you. Your network, I don't know if it's
slightly.
waving.
Hello. I think in
I'm
my
not
own
I'm not
understanding,
hearing you clearly. So
um, can you hear me?
your line is breaking. Yes, I can hear you now.
The network is very bad. I think the 255 is
Okay.
the.
Is there anyone who wants to?
Oh God.
Okay. Okay. Is there anyone who wants to try? Is there anyone who wants to try? Abdul. Hello.
Hello, can you, hello, can you hear me?
Hello. I cannot hear you. Do you want to say
Oh,
something?
hello, can you hear me?
Okay. I said, do you know why we are using what 255? Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's because the column shows a variable length string of the character with a maximum length of I think 255.
Okay. Okay. So, do you mean that that column will contain what that particular range, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like, it's within the range of 255. That's why I said with the
Right?
maximum length of 255.
O- Okay, no problem. So let's continue. Now we have to what create look for what how we can what add what the city of what the student. So let's get the city of the student city, and we can use voucher again. We use the 255, 255. Then we can what close it and what, let's see. Okay, let's see what, let's close it with what, our bracket. Now we close every lines of code we have written with what, bracket. We close the line of code using what, bracket. So now I've closed it and I'll end it with what, the semicolon. So do you have any question to ask, Musa? You raise up your hand. Musa, you want to speak? Hello. Okay. Now, since we have written everything we want in what, the student database, now we have to what, run it. We have to what, run it. Hello. Are you trying to speak, Musa?
Yes, I was trying to ask a question, but just now my network
Okay.
just I wanted to ask about that 255. Please, can you just explain it again about that 255? I didn't get what the other guy said.
Okay, now that 255, the 255, you are saying that that column, let's say the column last name, let's use example the last name, we take letters from the range from 1 to what, 255. It will not occupy more than that.
55. Okay.
Do you
Okay.
understand?
Yes, I understand.
Now let's run it. Now we have to what, highlight the lines of code we have written and run. Now one what, one table has been what, affected. Now let's look at what, let's look at what, our table. Let's look at what, our table we have what, created. And that table we have created, we have to what, use what, a word, a function called select. Now let's see our table we have created. Let's see our table we have created. Now I'm going to use this word asterisk. Now asterisk in what, SQL, signifies at select all. It signifies at what, select all. So you have to know that, note that asterisk is what's used to select all. All, okay. Now let me select all from what, I'm going to what, call the what, database. Select all from what, CMTech. Now I will close it with what, semicolon. Okay, I'll close it with what, semicolon. So let's see. Sorry. Okay, it's supposed to be semicolon. Okay, I'm coming. Select all from what, semicolon. My from is not there. That's why it did not show me that my code was right. Look at it. This star, like a red star, signifies that your lines of code have and what, have an error. So let's see. Now I'll say select all from. Now from, I have to what, add what, from. I'm trying to break it down for you so that you have a good knowledge of what we are doing. Now I'm selecting all from what, CMTech. Now let's run. So now we are going to what? Alight and run. Now, when we run, you see, it said that what does not exist. Let's see. Now, this is error. I just try to make sure that this comes out error. So it said what? Select all from what? Error. Now, it said CMTech does not exist. CMTech does not exist. Now, let's see why it showed that CMTech does not exist. Okay. Now, let's use, let's select. Now, still the same thing. Wait, I'm coming. Now, CMTech does not exist. We have to cross check what is what wrong. We have to what cross check what is wrong. You have to have a basic knowledge of what you are doing. You have to understand what is wrong with that what particular uh, code. So first of all, I went to use I was using what uh, the database instead of what the table name. Sorry, I'm using the database name instead of what the table name. So kindly note what your error is, understand your code, and before you move further. So I have to what use the word student uh, table. Now I'll say select all from what student table and run. Now student table, what this is my student table. I have the person's ID, last name, and first name, address, and city. I believe you have seen what I I believe you have seen what I've done.
Yes.
Yeah, sure, we're with you.
So do you guys have any issue with that? Do you have any question?
No, no, no.
No.
Do you have any question? Should I move on?
Yeah, you can move on.
Okay. Now we have what create a table. Now you have to what insert. You have to what insert to that particular table. Now for us to insert to that particular table, you have to use a word called what insert. You have to what use the word called insert, and insert helps you to what insert what values. Insert helps you to what insert values to that particular database. So now let's see how we can what use the word insert. Now I'm going to what insert using insert into. Now we have to what mention the table name. We have to what mention the table name. Then we use the what the bracket, and the bracket we have to specify each columns we want to insert the values. So now I will just copy. Let's say I will copy this. Now when you see this first name ID, I'm not going to insert anything to it because I've already what used the what auto increment. I've already what used the auto increment, and using the auto increment, and I will not insert anything because the system will insert all the values whenever I create any new or insert any new item. So please take note. Now, so and I will use what the last name, first name, and the address. Okay, address. Me, let me just copy for us to save time. Copy, paste here. Um, So comma separated by comma. Now this copy and paste here, comma, and this copy paste here, and this copy then paste what here. So now I've already get my uh columns, my columns name, and now I'm going to insert values. Now I will use a word called value. Now values. Now I have to insert value. Now the last name should be what? The last name should be let's say last name. Which name will I use here? Anybody's in class, anyone in class. Uh, let's say Adulai, Adulai, Abdulai, right? I'm correct. Okay, and okay, Abdulai, and his first name. Let's say Adlaiu. So let me see. Uh, let me use Musa. Musa is in class. Let me use Musa as his first name. So Musa, and the address. Let's say to Lagos, 20 Lagos, Lagos what? Let's say Lagos Street.
Sorry, sir. How about the ID?
Now I earlier explained that automatically the system, since you have used auto increment. Were you in
Okay.
class? Yeah, I mentioned
I guess it was
the auto
network.
increment.
Okay. Okay.
Now, since you have used the word auto increment, look at it. Since you have used the word auto increment, now you have no right to insert. You have no right to insert. The
Okay.
word auto increment have already tell you that the system will increment every rows, every columns. I believe you understand.
Yeah, thank you. I get it now.
Okay, let's move on. Now, take note of that. Okay. Now, Lagos Street, and we are going to add the city. Okay, let's say city Ikeja, and let's close it and comma semicolon. Now, I have an error. Who can tell me what is my error? What is my error? This is time for you to know how you can debug error. I cannot just be teaching, so I just want to teach you how you can debug error. So look at this line of code. What do you think will be my error?
There's